What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Fall of Faith podcast, a meal and a conversation, where I bring a guest and over a meal, we have a conversation. Today, I have my brother, Demetrius Baylor.
Yes, sir.
AKA, I was gonna say what you're on my phone as.
No, we
But
don't do that.
I've already had you on my podcast before. We were talking about sex before marriage with Chanel. That was before she was your wife.
Yeah, that was when we were girlfriend, boyfriend.
Yeah. Anyways, no, okay, so that's going to be fast forward towards the end. But I would like for us to start off from the beginning, right? More so our friendship. Because you really didn't care for me when we were younger. And it was a little upsetting.
Bro, I didn't really know who you were, so that's not my fault.
Wait, okay, but let me ask you a question though. Like, how did you not know who I was?
Like,
You know Bakanzi. Bakanzi is my brother. Like, you saw him literally every single day.
So just because I saw him doesn't mean I knew you.
No, yeah, but I mean, like, you said you didn't know me at all. Like, you saw my potential when I was younger.
I knew of you. I seen your face. I seen you run around, but you weren't getting into the car to where we were going.
Yeah, okay, but I'm just saying, like, I was an athlete when I was younger, though. Like, you were like, okay, that kid's gonna be something one day.
Not at all.
Alright, well, anyway, I'm still upset that you guys never invited me to come play basketball with you guys are trained. I think, honestly, you and your father are the cause of me not in the league right now. Really what I've
You
come
can
to
put
conclude.
that all on my dad, not me. Sorry.
Well, partially you. Okay, anyway. So basketball is what got us to actually become friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot how that even got connected.
I think it was maybe I was going back for my last half semester in school, and I think you were going back for your junior year.
That's exactly what it was.
And then you just wanted to train. So I was like, bro, I train every morning at 6, so if you want to, come in the morning, and we'll figure it out from there.
Okay, yeah, but... Oh, no, it wasn't Miss White's class.
Oh, you're going early.
No, yeah, well, we got
High school early.
Yeah, because for people to, we got to go even earlier and farther than that for people to get the concept of what I'm really trying to get to by the end of this conversation, right? Okay, but I'm talking about our friendship. The earliest, Okay, look, I caught your eye, pause, okay? Well, we're in Miss White's class, and you were TAing for her.
Mm-hmm.
And you say that I said potato funny, and that was the day that you're like, okay, that kid is for sure gonna be something one day.
Extremely weird, a way I've never heard someone say the word potato before. And I knew you were Bukanzi's brother, so
right.
That was also like what kind of connected the dots. I was like, he's very weird, but he's also like my best friend's little brother. He is my best friend's little brother, so I have to make sure he's not walking around campus like a weirdo and struggling, so I just had to step in and help him.
You didn't help me in that one bit. Anyways, we're about to get sidetracked for absolutely no reason. Okay, Meech growing up, right? His world revolved around what?
The ladies, definitely.
Well,
basketball.
Okay, basketball. From the day that you were out of your mother's womb, what was the goal? The league.
I wouldn't say that, but
Come on now. Within
a couple of years, yeah.
Within a couple of years, okay. The goal, the dream was to make it to the league. Okay. So when I first saw you play, I was like, okay, that guy's just naturally talented, right? I was like, okay, that
When was the first time you saw me play?
I think I saw you play at Sun Valley with Bakanzi and them.
Okay.
Was it the 8th grade year, right? That's when you went there? Yeah. That was the first year I saw. I was like, oh my goodness, like he's a little. Yeah, that's when you were little. You've come a long way, my friend. But anyway, I was like, oh man, like that's natural talent, okay? But let's be realistic now. When I started finally, besides myself, I think you're probably number 2 at your work ethic, right? Because let's be realistic.
You said beside yourself.
Yeah, beside myself. You're number two. Yeah, like people that I know at heart, like at least when it comes to basketball and training, you're willing to wake up at. We were both waking up. Okay, at some point we were waking up at like 4 in the morning to go work out and try to get better. Like what? Anyways, but that's besides the point. So Meech, the training, I think people don't understand that. And especially in high school, they just see a kid who's really talented, super fast, can jump really high, can play really well. But what did Meech's training regimen look like when he was younger?
Younger, I was with my dad. And with Bill or Desmond a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so at nights, typically almost like every night, we go either before I went to Sun Valley, I was going to another elementary school, and we go to like LA Fitness or like gyms like that, and we just do like abs, small like jumping and running stuff, like a bunch of body weight stuff. And then I knew my brother, he had bounce, so then he's in high school.
Yeah.
So I asked all of his friends like what did they do to get their bounce, and then one of them had like crazy bounce, but he's like 6'6", and he was basically putting his arm in the ring. Like I've seen him dunk on somebody so hard, the ball came through the net, hit him in the face, and broke his nose. Well, not break his nose, but he made his nose bleed. So I definitely asked him how he got his bounce, and so I basically did a ton of calf raises, those body weight exercises, and
Okay, do calf raises really work like that though?
but when you're younger, like when you're in what? Sixth, seventh grade, and you're doing 200 calf raises a night, and then you get insane and you get to 300, 400 because you see this happen like every day. It eventually works because you're so young.
Right.
And then, so that was that with the training and athleticism, and we do basketball and all that stuff. And then sometimes, then I went to Sun Valley, and then eventually went to Kellis, and that's when Rio Vista opened up, and we started going there. Me and Bill started going there in the morning sometimes. Then sometimes like in the evening, our parents would drop us off. We'd be there from 4 till when it closed, till 10 o'clock. So we'd be upstairs just doing all the random stuff that we could come up with to figure it out. Yeah, and that's basically how it was. A lot of hours.
So Meech's life really revolved around basketball.
Absolutely, totally.
Okay, so high school. I know this is a sensitive subject. It's a sensitive subject for me too, because I felt like honestly, you guys ruined it for me.
Don't tell me.
No, I'm just joking. I don't even want to talk about that because he probably is gonna see it, and then it's gonna. We don't want that. We're better people.
Yeah, we're grown.
Yeah, we're grown. We leave it in the past. All that is in the past. But anyway, so you, Bakanzi, Meech, you, Bakanzi, and Wayman decided to all go to the same high school because you guys wanted to play together. You probably would have. Yeah, not the greatest decision that you guys ever made.
I think it was a great decision.
I don't think so. Well, okay, well, now that we know the outcome of it, it was not the greatest decision.
And I think we accomplished what we set out to. Not everything.
Yeah, but no, you didn't.
I think most
playing together is not that difficult.
Playing together, winning a championship, and putting a whole new school on the map.
Yeah, but you guys didn't win. Okay, yeah, the conference region. That's it. But you guys didn't win the state championship.
But we still won region. We won the championship.
One time though. You guys should have won it 4 years in a row.
Anyway, that's besides the point. But we put a whole new school on the map who was pretty much losing every year. Because it was new.
Okay, so you guys find success in high school, right?
Yep.
Okay, question. You played varsity your freshman year. You're the only freshman in the varsity team that first year, right? And then because you went and made it the next year. What was that like? Did you feel good? Did you feel like, man, was that an accomplishment for you?
Yeah, absolutely. And a funny story. When they were like picking team, we were like in the big what's that room called? Right next to the breezeway. It's like a big auditorium.
I don't know.
I forgot what it's called. Whatever. We're in that big auditorium classroom. He was like separating people, and then I was like the last one of like the freshmen. So I was like, bro, he just must have forgot my name. So I just got up and I was about to go walk and go sit next to Bakanzi and Wayman. And he was like, wait, no, you sit, you stay, you're going over here. And I was like, okay, this is awkward. So then it was cool. I felt good. But then at the same time, not being with them, with Bakanzi and Wayman was very awkward. Not playing with them. And then I'm playing with a bunch of juniors and seniors that I know.
But you were better than.
That I know I'm just as good or better than. So it's just like an awkward transition phase of I'm playing with these 17, 18-year-olds, I'm 14, and I'm better than you, but I don't know how to run a team or anything like that. So it was just like a big learning experience, and we sucked too. So
what does Meech change in high school? Other than, of course.
What?
What does Meech change? If you could change something during those 4 years, what do you wish you could have? If Meech can go, that's later. If Meech can go back and talk to younger.
I know what you're asking. How I worked out.
Right, just break that down. 'Cause I feel like if there was anyone that worked out a lot, it would be you.
Yeah, because see, I realized, like recently through me now training other people, I call it the 3-work system. You got to work hard, work smart, and work consistent. I worked hard and worked consistent, but I didn't necessarily work too smart. I did like a bunch of general stuff, and I was already good, so I got better. But I feel like I could have worked way smarter, and I could have been like 5 times as better if I had like the knowledge that I had now of how to progress over time. So
So my quick question is, I always made the assumption that your dad basically trained you your whole life, and I think if anyone, okay. Wait, so how did he not help you train smarter?
Like, we worked on the things we needed to work on for me to do, but it was just how it was like put together. So like shooting, we worked on shooting, but not necessarily like spending a whole summer just on shooting. It was like we do a couple drills here and there with shooting, a couple drills here and there with some dribbling, some finishing, dunking, defense. It was just like scattered. So over time, obviously you get better. But like, imagine if you did a little bit of shooting, a little bit of dribbling, a little bit of finishing versus someone who spent 365 days on just shooting. Who's gonna be better at shooting at the end of it? Exactly. So it's like being able to program and progress somebody over a 4 or 5 year period. Like that's what I would change. Because even if I went freshman year, I was good at one thing, whatever, and then the whole summer I spent on building the next thing, and then just like layering like that, bro. Imagine 4 years later, you'd be way better.
Okay, so your thought process on that is that instead of trying to practice on every single thing every single day, you just focus on each summer, just focusing on one aspect of your game.
Yeah, like adding one thing to it.
Right.
So like, if you think like Russell Westbrook, when he first came into the league, what was he known for?
His athleticism and his speed.
Now he takes that same, but now over time he adds a mid-range jumper.
Still doesn't have that.
Yes, he does. Then he adds the post up to his game, and then he adds being able to find and put his team together, find people, and then he adds, okay, now I'm gonna be a triple double machine. So it's like over time his game totally changes. Some people might say he's not as good as whatever, but you can tell just by watching the growth over time how much better he has actually gotten. And you can put that with any other NBA player who's the first person I thought of.
Yeah, I don't know why, but he's the first person. Okay, Demetrius Blaylock, you're a very hard man to read emotionally. From our whole friendship, I never angry, but like even when you're angry, I'm just like, wait, what? I don't even know if this guy is really upset. Like, so it's always so hard to understand what Demetrius is going through in life, right? So I guess even me personally, I got lost in thinking that Demetrius has some perfect life. He just cool, calm, and collective all the time. Like he's got it figured out. He knows exactly what he's doing. But what is going? Because Misha has a lot of stuff going on in his head. So I guess we'll talk about the little bit of the college experience you had, right? So first you go to Coach E's, right, to play basketball.
Okay.
It seemed like that was your favorite place to be at.
Absolutely. If I could pick my favorite years in college, it would be Coach E's.
Why is that?
It's your first time going to college. Your first year, freshman and sophomore year,
right.
But also like the coaching program. Like I learned how to work. I learned how to play, or I already knew how to play. I learned how to play at a higher level, and then every level after that was like cake.
Right.
Because it was like, you know that phrase, you practice how you play? That's how it was. We really practiced how we wanted to play, and then going other places, we practiced hard, but it was just like, coaching was like a different level. So, it was fun.
Right. For people that never really played college sports or gotten that opportunity, how big of a role does it having a solidly good coach play into you becoming an actually good player? Because
on a percentage basis,
or an emotional perspective,
I say it's like 60-40, 70-30. and more on the coach, because I played for a ton of coaches and they all like say the same thing. I can't take your confidence away from you. Now that I'm coaching, that's an absolute lie.
Right.
I know for a fact as a coach I can take your confidence away from you depending on what I'm saying, how am I saying it, and what I'm doing with your playing time and practice and all that stuff. So it's like some of it's on the coach, but also a lot of it's on the player as well. So it just depends.
Okay, let's go back to Meech and his emotions.
Yeah, we don't get
Yeah. Why does Meech not express his emotions?
Why?
Yeah. Because you're an independent black man.
Kind of. No. I don't know. I just don't. I feel like certain people deserve certain sides of you, and not everybody deserves a look into like how deep whatever you're feeling or whatever you're going through, because then when you allow that to happen, that's when like hurt can come in, because someone might know something and they might say something and it's just like, bro, like that was unnecessary, it was the wrong time, or they might try to manipulate like with something. So it's just like I like to keep certain things from certain people, and it's just like how you can control what goes on in your life.
Okay, so but who would? Because there's no. Why would you keep that away from me? I'm over upset, man.
Well, you get a little bit deeper look.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really. To what extent, though?
But imagine what you think, like what you know about me is probably way deeper than what anybody else would know, besides like my wife or somebody like that.
No, now you throwing around your wife word around like you just been married for years.
It's been a couple months, so I get to say it.
Okay, so what is Michi going through after his last year of college basketball?
What are you talking about? What am I going through? I'm trying to go, bro. What?
Okay.
I'm trying to get a bag.
Well, let's talk about that. What does the process look like for you while you're trying to get this bag and going professional?
Going to a lot of tryouts, traveling to different states.
Okay, so then the question becomes, how does it feel like knowing that you're probably the best player on that court, but not getting that contract?
It's mad annoying, because it goes further than just the current tryout or the current workout that you're at. And then it goes to social media. Then when you see all your homies, all the people who you've played against, and they're getting their contracts, you're happy for your homies. But like the other people who you've played against, that are like, y'all are cool, but not like your teammates. Bro, I know what I did to you guys during the season. I know my skill set versus your skill set. I'm happy that you got it. Like, I'm not mad that you got it, but it's just like, then it comes the comparison. It's like, why did you get it, but I didn't? How come you can get this opportunity, but I can't? We went to something similar to a tryout or whatever, and then you got this, but I didn't. Or then you go to like the rec center and you play against a guy, and you just hear over there, oh man, he plays in this country. It's like, bro, he is trash. Like, why does he have, and then you figure out, oh, well, he knows somebody who played over there, so they got them the hook. And so it's like, oh, okay, that's why. And then that gets you mad, because like, dang, I know nobody with that type of pull to do it. So then it's just like, you play the comparison game, and then you get in your head and you get all mad. And
okay,
crazy.
So that head problem. My question for you, because I don't think there's not one person in high school would sit here and be like, oh yeah, I did not expect me to go at least pro, overseas or something. Maybe not the league or whatever, but I don't think there's one person that can legit.
Maybe should have went to the league.
Well, yeah, look, but not getting that contract. So what is that in your, again, back to the thought process of me, because looking at you and having a conversation with you every single day, I figured a little bit. I don't know you were hurting it, so I think we all were hurting for you too.
Hurting.
But for me, just almost like now, who is Meech without this, right? Like, this is something that you were doing your whole life. This is not only did you expect it, but every single person that either coached you or was your friend or saw you in high school or college expected it.
I wouldn't necessarily say coach, but
Well, all right. Well, we're not going to talk about that, okay? But how does that begin to affect you mentally, I guess?
makes you kind of like not even want to play basketball sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't call it depression because depression is like really serious, but like it was maybe like a week where I didn't want to like do anything. And like, I wake up, go work out, do all that stuff. I literally had no drive to like go pick up a basketball, go pick up a weight, and I just like chilled in the house and did nothing.
Right.
And it felt good. Rested, but then like thinking like, dang bro, like am I going to get this opportunity? What's the next like step that I gotta do? And then when you like are thinking about so much that you have to do, and then you end up just like laying there not doing anything. That's what basically happened. It's like I have so many thoughts of what I want to do, where I want to go. Why isn't this thing working? And it's like, bro, I don't even actually just what? Let me just turn the TV on and just sit here and do nothing. So it's almost like it's very sad couple of days, couple moments.
Okay, so, but when does this goal that you had since you were born,
Pretty much.
at what point does me say, oh, man, well, now I think I have to actually start? Because that was all your main focus. All you did was play sports. I don't think you really did anything else.
I would say sports.
Not sports, basketball.
Basketball.
Jeez. But that's literally all you did. Like, your job was to play basketball, train for basketball, and be able to one day get a contract. I think for you, I think you were in a really great position where your parents weren't like me. You got to go out and get a job where you didn't need to get a job. And so,
Oh, my dad. Ooh,
what?
my dad, biggest supporter.
Really?
Big
See? Okay, so that small thing, because like with some kids, they don't have that opportunity, right? Like at some point they have to grow up. Not saying that you grew up in a different way, right? But they generally have to grow up a lot faster than most people.
Yeah.
Talk about that. I guess your dad as being your support and being able to allow you to chase that dream until again we get to that point where Meech is like, okay, well, as much I know I'm good enough, I should be here, but clearly this is not the path that it looks like it's panning out to be, right? But before that, talk about a little bit of the support from your parents and your dad.
Well, mom, they just want you to do anything that makes you happy.
Right.
But like my dad, he's more of like the motivator. My mom is just like, well, what do you need? Like anything you need, let me know. And my dad would like talk to me, and it's like, when I'm having doubts, it's like, do I really want to keep doing this? Do I really want to go to this next trial? Do I really want to keep down this path? Keep spending this money? And he's like, pretty much, keep doing it. Like, don't worry about money. Don't worry about anything. We'll figure out a way. If this is what you want to do, for real, we'll figure out a way to get you anywhere you need to get to. Because he sees like how hard I work. So it's not like I'm sitting on the couch and just like, oh, I really want to go play pro, but I haven't worked out in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or anything. It's like, no, I'm up every morning getting after it. So he sees that I really want it.
Right.
So he's like, bro, as my son, I want you to succeed in any type of way, whatever it is that you want to do, I got you. So it's like, when I doubt myself, it's like, when I can hear his voice and I just keep going after it because he trusts that, or he believes that you could do it. Mom believes that you could do it. Your brother believes that you could do it. You got like 2 little nephews that are looking up to you. So it's like, why stop? So just gotta keep going like that.
Okay, so does Meech ever say out loud that, okay, I think I'm done with basketball and I'm ready to start something else? Or does Meech just kind of gradually, slowly?
It was gradually, and then I said it.
Okay. Wait, when did I had never heard you say it.
Yeah.
To this day, I'm like, Meech is still trying to make it to the league, for sure.
No. It was like maybe a year and maybe a year ago. Yeah, I think it was like a year ago.
How does Meech get to that point?
I got tired of going to all the tryouts. Like, not just going, but like going, doing what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, if you play 4 games at a tryout, there's no way you're about to like go out there and average 30, right? Because everybody there is good. But it's like, I did what I'm supposed to do to get the look, to draw interest, but nothing just comes. Or in my case, I had two opportunities that actually were like solid, but then other things happened like outside of my control, And that's what kind of ruined it. So it's like, do I want to keep trying to get step one? Or do I just figure something else out? And it's like, bro, I've already figured out the training and coaching thing, and I'm actually pretty good at it. So
hey, man, you're trying to get ahead of this podcast. Would you like to leave the podcast, buddy? No, I'm just joking. No. Okay, so what part did Chanel play in this whole decision making? Because you did have to grow up a little, like a lot. Cause I'm pretty okay. So let's be realistic. Mm-hmm. I feel like if Chanel, I love you dearly. I always feel like her and I have a love-hate relationship. Yeah. But if she wasn't in the picture, I think you genuinely would still be going after her because you're really not taking. You don't have to. You're not worried about nobody else. You're still just worried about Meech. How big of a part did Chanel play in this whole decision making?
I wouldn't say a huge part, but she does play a part because it's like. At a point, so we start. It's like okay, so we start dating, right? I'm trying to get my goal, my dream. She's doing her thing, and she's willing to support it, all that. But then it's like year after year. It's like 3 years since we dated for like 3 years. So it's really like year after year, 2 years. Where are we going next? And how is this gonna work? So if I do get the job, when are we gonna get married? Because why would we get married right when I'm about to leave? Like, that's kind of tough. Or would I get married, chill for 4 months being married, and then up and leave? But then it's like, dang, we just got used to getting married. Right. We've just been around each other for 4 months in a new way. But now you're leaving again. So it's like weighing how she would feel at the same time of what do I want, and is it worth it? And I figured I've tried, almost got it, was supposed to get it, and it just didn't work out. So maybe God is leading me somewhere else, and if He's leading me somewhere else, just go full force with that.
Okay, so then it leads us to, in a sense, basically the whole point of me wanting you to be on this podcast. Mm-hmm. I don't think a lot of athletes think about life after their sport, right? At least I did it. I didn't. I only got a degree that I got because I felt like it would make my mom happy. Thank God it panned out correctly. But the whole goal was we're making it to the league, so, right? There's no other choice. So now you had to. I think for me, I'm curious because you still work out and stuff, but it's still not the same, right? What is life after sports after that? Because that sport almost becomes your identity, right? Because it sounds like, who am I without this piece of thing? You got lucky. You're still in the sports world, and so. But I told myself, I was like, "There's no way I'm going to be in the sports world. I'm going to hate whatever kid I'm training because I was trying to be like you, kid."
He gets to the league. No, I'm bitter. I'm mad. That should have been me.
No, so life after sports, how do you begin to find your identity through something other than the sport?
Well, first, with the faith that we both have, first you have your identity in Jesus.
I'm so sorry, I felt like this was the wrong time for me to get over.
It's alright.
Hold up, okay, go ahead.
But no, realizing that sometimes as people we do put our identity in the thing that we're doing. So when we stop doing the thing, it's like we lose ourselves, but we should first put our identity in Jesus, and then after that, we can find just what we do. But when I kind of stopped like the pro chase, I used to, like you said, I got lucky because I started coaching, and then I started coaching just to do something in between me waiting for options, and then the coaching led to training, and then it led to just stop playing. So it was like I gradually shifted from trying to be pro into the trainer world. So it's just like I never feel like I lost my identity or anything like that, because I just gradually just changed into something else. I fell in love with something else, a different way.
Yeah. So the whole spiritual, both of you and I with this whole belief in Christ, right? Mm-hmm. So now we understand that our identity should be first seek through the eyes of Christ, right? Mm-hmm. But I think, how does Meech find that though? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't even know you believed in this thing before one day I forgot what day, I was at your house one day.
Yeah,
you were
no, you weren't on. You wasn't on the couch.
I was dunking, huh? It was when I was dunking.
Not at all. You were at the house. You were outside. I think we were about to go work out or something, and you're listening to a video. And I said something about it.
And I was so shocked. Like, wait, what? Is this going to be a beautiful relationship? Friendship?
We already had one. We already had it.
How does Meech find his belief like in the midst of it all? Like it almost felt like you were finding it during the time period where it was in between phase where you were waiting. It was like you just got an unhealthy relationship. You just got an unhealthy relationship, and then you find this. Like, how does that happen?
It was, I honestly think it was a gradual process. Mm-hmm. Like the Holy Spirit kind of just leading me to it very, very slowly. That might have been my fault, but very slowly. And it started maybe after my second year in college, that I started to get like these thoughts, I guess, and it was the Holy Spirit. And then a year and a half later, more thoughts started coming in, but then you ignore them because you're not trying to listen to those thoughts. You want to keep living the way you're living.
Exactly.
And then I decided, based on like the relationships issues that I was going through, I decided to make a change because something needed to change because I wanted something better. And then that change was what allowed me to then reach the faith.
Right, but it's so, I think how people either leave the faith or get into the faith always intrigues me, right? Because, no one really, it doesn't sound like anyone came and convinced you about who this Christ guy was, who Jesus was. Oh, you need to follow this guy because he died for your sins, buddy. Or they came in, and I even though I'm pretty sure you knew I believed in Christ, regardless. Yeah. So I never really was. I talk about the Jesus guy until I found out that you actually had the faith too. But and then other people, again, leave the faith because of that exact same reason, right? And so, I guess from your perspective, because I've never understood. I've been raised in this faith since I was a child, right? And so, to me, it's almost like second nature. I've built my own relationship with Christ because I was like, at some point when you grow up, you have to as well too. Yeah. But from someone. Why do you think people are so afraid of that aspect of it?
Afraid of what? Exactly.
Of this Jesus dude, right? And I only say that because society is so comfortable on. There's a lot of no-nos like that we don't do as a society. The one thing that people are for some reason okay with is either denying God's reality or Jesus's being, right? And they just bash it. I feel like Christianity is one of the most disrespected religion out there. It's almost like people don't take Christianity as serious as other religions, and I can kind of see why. But from your perspective, why do you think that's so?
I don't know exactly why they bash it so much because I literally just saw a video on like someone in the music industry, like I wouldn't say like I guess mocking Jesus' death. Like it's like why would you do that? It's just weird. But I think a lot of people like fear Christianity or are confused just because it's like almost like the fear of the unknown. Like, I just don't know, so it's hard to believe because I don't know. Like I can't see it, I can't touch it. I just don't know. It's almost like a little kid in the dark. Really, there's nothing in the dark. They just don't know because they can't see it.
Right.
So it's almost the same with Jesus because we've never seen him. We can't physically speak to him. So it's like, does he really exist? And if he doesn't, why would I waste my time trying to follow him if in the end he doesn't exist?
That was a good place. That small piece makes no logic, but there's no logic behind that, right? Because even if he doesn't exist, right? Let's say this. I'm not even gonna say that because he does exist. But for those people that believe that, why would it even matter? Because me following Christ just makes me a more kinder and gentle and patient person towards you, right? Because if it was Seth, trust me, Seth is arrogant at times, and he cares only about himself, and he's only going to be selfish, right? So without Christ, I'm just going to be a jerk to you. Like, I'm not even going to treat you with any respect. And so that the thought of, I'll be wasting my time, I've never heard, I feel like I wasted being nice today. Like I don't get
People
that.
are nice without Jesus. Like I was nice before I met him.
No, you ignored everybody.
That is absolutely false.
You ignored me. I'm hurt.
It's okay.
It hurt.
It's
No.
right.
Okay. But we're back to the. Okay, last point on that. Okay, last point on. I was listening somewhere saying Islam is the the last real religion, right? Okay, so and they make the statement because they say that Islam is like they stick to it, and if basically you don't believe in their religion, they kill you and all that stuff like that, right? And so yes, I agree that they will kill you if you talk bad about their God, things of that nature. But I slowly started, and I'm curious to know your perspective on this, but I would much rather serve a God who will love me in the midst of my mistakes or me being an idiot and make a bunch of mistakes and still find a way to show me grace than a God that in an instant that I disobey or I do something wrong is just willing to just throw me in the trash and kill me and I'm no longer part of that religion.
I have no idea about all of that, but I feel like before people can understand what you just said, like he loves you regardless, they have to first accept him.
No, that's very true.
I feel like they're scared to accept him because they just don't know if it's real, they don't know if it's worth it, and it's just like I guess murky water to step into and they just don't want to do it. Right. It's like I can just live my life how I want to live my life, I have control over my life, I do what I want, and there's no like rules or anything that I have to stick to. And I'm good. I'm a good person. I don't kill anybody. Like I don't steal. I don't do anything. So I'm fine the way I am.
Yeah, that could be an hour and a half long conversation. So we'll end it. We'll end it right there. And then, what would be your to your young athletes? What is something that you're trying to teach them? And so because the whole identity, finding absorbing yourself in a sport and whatever it is that you're doing, basically immersing yourself in that world and only that world, that is truly really the only, it's like the Kobe situation, the Black Mamba or Mamba mentality, where you immerse yourself so deeply that that's the only thing you think, eat, sleep, drink, whatever it is that you want to name in between there. That's the only way you could be really great. But I also think you can get so lost in that and forget reality in itself. So how do you get that? Because I think there should be a balance in life. There should always be a balance. How do you teach your kids that balance, or do you just tell them, hey, in order to be great, you gotta have the moment mentality?
It's like a little bit of both, and I don't teach them anything necessarily because I'm not their parent. But I try to just have a conversation with them, right? Like some of my high school girls, I just talk to them like, hey, what do you do? What's your favorite stuff to do outside of basketball? And then they might tell me, so why don't you start doing something along those lines? Like, oh, my favorite thing to do is arts and crafts. Well, why don't you start designing stuff? Why don't you start designing clothes, put stuff together, and just find something to do outside of basketball? At the same time, if basketball is your goal, you got to dedicate a certain amount of time to it. But outside of that, you have free time too, because you can wake up before you come to school, get shots up, go to school, come to practice. Well, then what do you do from 4 till 10?
Right. You
can go back and get more shots up, but you're not shooting from 4 till 10, so that's 4 till 5. What do you do from 5 till 10? Well, you might have some homework. Oh, what do you do from 7:30 till 10 o'clock? There's your little time to figure some other stuff out that you like to do and that you enjoy to do, whatever you're passionate about. So just having conversations with them, seeing what they're interested in and trying to push them towards doing that kind of stuff. Because a lot of them have jobs. I'm like, bro, if you don't need to work right now, go figure something else out that you actually like to do.
Yeah.
Like,
so you're a married man now.
Facts.
How does that feel?
Feels great.
Does it?
Yeah.
You feel like a happy man?
I sure do.
You're happy being what you know?
I sure am. She's the best.
Okay, what would you say has been the biggest change in Meech's life since he's gone married? Meech loves his own personal time. If the Instagram don't know, Meech likes to be alone.
Yes. I guess you said the biggest adjustment.
Yeah, and being married because you were stuck with this. Not stuck. Stuck is a bad word. You're
or next to.
You're happily with this person all the time.
Just adjusting my old life to new life because we didn't live together before we got married. Mm-hmm. So I had my own way of doing things, just like my own schedule.
Right.
And then now being married, my schedule of how I do things just has to change because now I have to take her into consideration because I can't wake up and work 18 hours. Mm-hmm. Can't do that because I have to spend time with her. I have to do other things.
Wait, who in the world is working 18 hours?
But it's just a gross exaggeration. But
yeah, I was
like I can wake up, go work out, come back, do some work, go do some training sessions, come back, eat, do some work on the computer, whatever, go do some more training sessions, come back, go to bed. And just repeat that and I'll be perfectly fine. I'll be happy with my life because I love doing it. But if someone's living with me and I'm just totally ignoring them because I'm working, coming home, working, coming home, there lies an issue. Because I need to spend time with them. I need to do other things with my life. So it's just adjusting that, when to put a stop on the work and all the other stuff. So that's the biggest adjustment for me.
Okay, so Meech found his identity in basketball when he was younger until about 2 years ago, right? Okay, so now how do you prevent yourself from immersing yourself in your new brand? Because you have a brand now, you do the training situation, and you have to keep that up in a sense. How does Meech not allow himself to get immersed inside of that world and unifying his identity? How do you keep your balance, whether it's for your brand and your work-life balance?
Well, knowing that I don't have control over anything, like set a goal. Do what I want to do, or not do what I want to do. Be able to, let's say I want to create a workout program. Set a time frame of what I need to get done, and then once I figure that out, move on. And not feel like I have to sit here and overwork to figure it out because it's gonna happen. Because when you come from playing basketball at a young age, everyone tells you to grind and work 24/7. But when it comes to like, I guess the adult world and outside of that, you don't need to necessarily do that. Because if you dive into it, you'll lose yourself. And that's not healthy. So I'd rather have, how can I say this? I'd rather have a successful business and a successful marriage at the same time. Rather than just have a great business and a terrible marriage.
So okay, so then what do you say to those people, the motivational speakers, that say you have to sacrifice something in order to be successful?
You do, but you don't have to sacrifice everything.
Okay, so like, you can describe that. What do you mean? Because now you're describing have your cake and get the cake and eat it too.
Have your cake and eat it too. Well, I'll sacrifice sleep because I won't necessarily sleep till 9. Mm-hmm. I'll just wake up at 5, 4, get the work that I need to get done. So by the time I'm done with all of my sessions, I can spend time with my wife.
Yeah, but no. So you're saying to basically wake up before the crack of dawn to be able to achieve everything else you want to do, and then make time for it. Okay, but so that sounds like you're still trying to be in control. You just said that you have to remember that you're not in control.
I wouldn't say control. Time management.
Oh, okay. So now you're trying to reword it in a better manner. You're still trying to,
because it's like you gotta do the work. The work needs to get done. So if I know it's about to be a long day,
right.
I'm like, okay, I gotta get up early. But if I know it's gonna be kind of like a normalish day, I'm not gonna get up at 3 o'clock in the morning when I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's like I also have to manage my time. I need to be with my wife. So when does she get off work? She gets off work later in the day. So when do I need to do my work? Earlier in the day to get it done and over with.
Yeah, that sounds like you're still trying to.
It's like I said, it's a little bit of both. It's a game. You gotta balance it.
Okay, so but then with also, you and I have had a conversation about how stressful social media aspect of it. I think if you and I really had a choice, we would never be on social media. But realistic, social media is really nothing but trouble. Let's be.
It isn't nothing but trouble.
No.
It's great.
It's what?
Small.
Making you feel little, making you feel like you're not doing anything with your life because everyone else is out there on vacation while you're working at 9 to 5.
That's part of it. Another part is you have great entertainment. Some of the funniest comedians be on social media.
No, yeah, but then you spend like 3 hours looking at that thing. You get lost, and then now
balance.
Yeah, okay, so
everything.
yeah, the balance is you just remove social media.
There's your balance.
No, I'm just joking. Okay, so last few questions are for you. Did Meech ever get to a point in his life where he was like, if I'm only thinking of this from again, you're not about to have a kid or anything like that. But did you ever, in this whole process, thought about, okay, well, if I was a parent in this situation, this is how I probably would have managed this aspect of my son's life. Let's say you happen to have a kid who loves basketball just as much as you, right? Yeah. You're lucky, probably. No, because Chanel loves sports too, so you probably have an athletic kid. But to where you're like, okay, well, this is probably what, because your dad seemed like he was damn near the perfect father, right? In the sense of that the sports world, right, and supporting you. What does Meech change? What does Meech need during this time of whenever because I'm pretty sure you felt alone, right? No one could understand. How does anyone understand, okay, I just went to a pro tryout, like me. You can't even have a conversation. What does that even look like? I don't even know where I would go to find a pro tryout, right? Mm-hmm. You felt lonely. You felt like, I'm guessing, again, I'm throwing this out there, because in the midst of your loneliness, what do you wish that either people could understand, or do you just really want to be alone during those times?
Me personally, I'd rather be alone.
Okay.
Right? I'd rather go, because I like to go figure out my feelings, I like to process it. And it's hard for me to sit down with somebody else and like have a conversation while I'm processing in my head, because then I feel like I stumble over my words. I'm not saying exactly what I'm feeling, or I'm just saying something out of anger or whatever. So I'd rather just go be alone and figure out exactly what I feel and then come back to it later.
Okay, and then so would you do that same thing for your kid as well? Because then, would your kid really be like a Meech? I don't think there's a lot of people that wants to be alone during those moments.
Then that's a learning process. I talk to them, or let's say they're going through something, they have a bad game. I try to talk to them, but then if I can see what I would do when I was younger, then I just step back.
Okay.
Yeah, because everybody is different. Like Chanel, she's totally different than me in how we handle certain things.
Right.
So it's like, I have to be flexible in that. I can't just be my way. It just has to be whatever works best for the child.
Okay, so and then to hit on one last, I think this was a very intriguing aspect that you hit on at the beginning, where you're talking about not everyone deserves to understand what Meech is going through, or at least the emotion that he's going through, because then you believe that people can use that against you. Mm-hmm. But then also, at some point, don't you just have to be like, okay, doesn't that teach? Even if someone uses whatever it is against you, because you don't live in a perfect world, right? People will hurt you, whether they even know it or they don't know it. Mm-hmm. Don't you learn more in the process of the hurt than you do when you just choose to isolate your emotions and keep it to yourself?
Yeah, you could learn more. But at the same time, that's why it's different pieces at different levels. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if I know this person is really here for me, right, I'll open up a little bit more. And even if they do hurt me, it wouldn't be in a crazy way, because I know that person is truly here for me. Versus if I were to open up the way, let's say I open up with you, with a person who I just met, right, that person might hurt me in a crazy way while I'll never trust somebody else again. But it's I already trust you.
But see,
because we spent so much time together.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like it would be the complete opposite, though, right? I wouldn't really, if a stranger hurt me or says something negative about me,
but that's just them talking.
No, exactly. So, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So,
okay. So let's take it time wise. If I've known you for 5 years,
yeah,
and then I finally start to open up some stuff, I already know since that 5 years, I know what type of person you are, so I feel free to do that. Mm-hmm. Versus if I met someone for a year, I don't really know how they handle situations. But if I tell them something that was really deep, but then they do something wild, then it's wild. I don't even want to be their friends anymore. I just wasted my time. Not necessarily wasted my time, but I just opened myself up when I shouldn't have in that moment, because I didn't know who that person truly was yet. Because I haven't spent enough time with them yet.
But you're doing again. It almost sounds like you do things that are complete opposite of Because someone out there, what they like to do is because they understand the hurt that someone who because like if you know me, then you know what. Then you have so much more power to hurt me than some stranger, right? And then the fact that if I've ever told you something and you've had used certain things that I've told you to and you bring it up in conversations, then it's almost like I'm hurt even more by you. And so going to talk to some stranger about my emotional feelings and how it hurt or whatever, it's a lot easier for some people because now there's no ties behind there, right? If they go out and say something stupid, then someone's like, I didn't even know. You don't even truly know me like that to even be speaking on my name. But if I know you and you say that you care about me and love me, and you're still willing to, in the midst of your anger, bring up something that I personally shared with you that was supposed to be private, and you use it against me, that hurts so much more. But you're stating that you wouldn't know me, and so I highly if I said something bad to you right now, you would be hurt a lot more. No offense to Alex right now, just because Alex is here right now. If I said something bad to you, you'd be hurt a lot more than if Alex said something to you. Because
it just depends on what it was.
Oh my God, it hurt you.
Alex wouldn't know anything about me, or if I told him the same thing, I'd tell you in the example.
No, so you're proving my point.
What do you mean?
You're proving because now Alex.
No. So, I'm saying if I told him the same thing, I would confide in you.
Right.
And then he said it. Yes, it would hurt more from you, but you wouldn't do that because I trust you, and I know you to a point where you wouldn't use that against me. I don't know in this example. I don't know Alex like that, so I wouldn't confide in him. So he wouldn't be able to say anything about me.
Wait, Alex, you agree with this point of view?
Yeah.
What? Am I tripping?
Yes, you are tripping right now.
Within that 5-year period of getting to know you and building that trust,
right?
If it takes 5 years for him to receive that loyalty from you,
yeah.
I feel like not a lot of people are in life for a long term, so 5 years is a long time.
That was a gross exaggeration, but it's just the
same
thing.
But 5 years.
I mean, everything I do agree. I understand.
And that's how I kind of figured out the whole relationship thing, because I sat down and thought about how I was getting into relationships. I was like, bro, I'm getting into these relationships in 2 months. And I'm like, all right, me and you are we're like this now. And I just met you, and we just started talking, just started dating, and now we're boyfriend and girlfriend 4 months later.
And you're saying that's unhealthy?
And for me, unhealthy. But then I was sitting down, I was thinking, I was like, bro, I have Wakanzi, Wayman, Bill, you, Darian, all my friends for 6, 7, 8 years plus. And I have female friends who I've had since 8th grade too, who we are really good friends with. But then my girlfriends, we break up in a year, and it's weird things going on. It's bro, that's because I got into this relationship too quick.
Right.
I didn't wait and get to really know the person.
I still feel like I would be more.
I feel like if, for the example, if Alex says something to me, he wouldn't have anything to say to me that would affect me that bad because he wouldn't know me.
No, but wait, correct. So repeat again what you're stating, because what I heard at the beginning is that you don't share with every single person because you feel like if you just share with someone that you don't know like that, it's a lot easier for them to hurt you.
Bits and pieces. So I'll share something with somebody. I'll share something, let's say, with Darian that I wouldn't share with you. Because
that's hurtful. That is hurtful.
Okay,
how dare you?
How
freaking dare you?
Because I know mine and Darian relationship might be different than mine and yours.
Okay, how do I get to my relationship to be like you and Darian?
It's a hypothetical situation.
No, it isn't. Now I'm not. You know me. Now I'm gonna go and be like, "Wow, really? You like Darian more?" No, I'm hurt. See, you just hurt me.
Let's go to the relationship thing. I started telling Darian certain things about my thoughts before I even me and you were cool. And
that is so hurtful.
It's just because we were in a different season and we had been friends for longer, and it was just a different situation. So I'm able to confide.
I with you every day. How dare you?
It was before that.
You know what? We need to create a safe space for me to share about my feelings.
That's why we got this podcast.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean the same. How dare you bring it up on a podcast?
My bad, bro.
We're gonna edit this part out. There was no reason Darren needs to know that he was ahead of me.
All right? He already knows this.
All right. Anyways, okay. So I'm gonna give you a few minutes to share about what you got going on in your life and kind of talk about. What do you mean? This is I'm rolling. What that guy from that does the Halloween challenge situation? He's I'm rolling out the red carpet for you. Tell the world what you're doing, what you're up to.
It was a hot ones.
Yeah, hot ones. Yeah. And so, in this moment, you get to share. I guess you could talk. You should talk a little bit about Chanel. How much you love her. Get a little brownie points because I was trying to help you out.
But she is dope. She's alright. That's my wife, Joe.
Anyway, okay, tell people in-game athletics, training, what you got going on.
In-game athletics, we do basketball.
Can you look at the camera this time?
Awkward looking at the camera.
No, that's what hot ones do, and so that's what fallen face is gonna do.
I'm not doing that.
You should do it
at the camera.
It's only best for the kids.
No.
Mate, do not look at
training,
mate.
basketball training,
mate. Don't look at
training, and you can find.
You're selling yourself
IG.
right now. You're selling yourself right now.
TikTok, all at
they don't even know what you're talking about.
Athletics. And you can even put it like on the little bottom, the little screen right here.
I'm not gonna finish this until you look at the camera.
that is what it is, brother. Or do one of these like, follow me here.
Look, we'll both look at
right here. Follow me right here.
And we'll both look at the camera together. Come on, buddy. Don't do this to me. Don't embarrass me in front of
I am embarrassing right now. I'm not looking at that camera.
I really hope you guys didn't hear a word he said about his brand because honestly, he doesn't deserve anyone. No, I'm just playing. All right, Meech, thank you so much for coming and joining me. I know it's a late night. Alex, I appreciate you, brother.
Yes,
as always, man. Well, that wraps up the third episode of Fallen Faith Podcast, a middle in the conversation. The whole point of this
was third.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Why was I number one? You want to talk about me and Darian?
Yep. Well, you told about me.
That's wild.
Darian was number one, so clearly you deserve to be number 3. Then I forgot what I was saying. Oh, the whole point of this podcast was kind of share what it looked like for me growing up and then the life after sports and what that looks like for his life. And so for any athletes out there who find their identity in their own sport, man, as great as it is to be fully invested and fully committed in your sport, remember, do not let that define who you truly are, because no one should be defined by one specific thing. God's created us to be so much more than just one in particular thing, and so don't allow yourself to be so immersed in something that you forget reality of the world and other people around you. Care about people. Do not let that determine your character. And with that being said, Demetrius Baylock, I appreciate you. As always, God loves you. I love you. God bless and stay safe. Thank you. I love y'all. Peace. Good meeting you.